Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the PGL Major Antwerp 2022 Challenger stage. We are gonna
You
do.
read that right off the top.
Yes, sir. You know I did, because you know my brain cannot
I
remember
was
that shit.
He had his finger running across the screen.
This shit's hella funny. I have Mateo and Tyler with me today, and we are going to be talking about our predictions, some favorites, some stars, just basically going over the first 16 games that's going on. So we'll jump right into it. Um, I'll start with Vitality Complexity. This should be really a Vitality win versus Complexity, but I think Complexity actually have a really good chance to upset here. Um, Vitality barely got out 3-2 in the last stage, and they look shaky right now. Any thoughts?
I think this game dictates a lot for both teams, really. I think that both team, like, obviously one team's gonna win, one team's gonna lose, but I think both teams can walk away with confidence after this game because both of them are in some weird positions. Like Vitality looks really shaky in EU, Complexity looks really good in NA. That basically is like pretty even at that point.
Do they look
Um,
good in NA though?
yeah, they do. They do.
I mean,
Um,
they struggle at times in
I
NA.
I think they share pretty similar map pools. Vitality doesn't have to worry about Ancient or anything like that. Fucking Cole doesn't have to worry about Mirage. So after that, then you probably get like a Dust 2 or maybe like an Inferno or
Yeah,
something like that.
they
That's
Or
what I
don't
even
was
a
play.
thinking was
Vertigo.
Inferno. Yeah, Vertigo
Those two,
is a
those two
very good
Vertigo. Yeah.
possibility.
With me though is if Cole win this game, then I think they make it out. Like
I,
actually.
yeah,
Uh,
they have a really good
yeah.
chance to.
I think
Um,
whoever
Um
wins this game has a smooth. Will have a smooth
I think they
challenger
both
stage.
I think they both could easily lose this game and still make it out, I will say.
Yeah,
I think that they both have a good chance. I just
easily.
think
Yeah.
that this game, with how for like complexities like mental and like playing in EU and shit like that, they've gotten shit in EU, like shit on in EU every single time they've played. So I think winning this game would be huge for them. Vitality, you would think the more time that this team is given, the better they will be, because they have so many good players on their team. They just have to learn how to speak English together.
that's the real big thing right now
So
is the
like
communication
this will
barrier.
be a big check to see where Vitality is as a team and where Complexity is as a team. So even if one team loses here, if both teams look, I mean obviously one team's going to lose, but if both teams look good, I would put confidence in both of them making it out. Now, if one of them like shits the bed or something like that, then they're probably just not ready yet. But I think that this match in particular shows a lot about the upcoming matches and potential upsets again for that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Key players to look out for. I'm looking at Floppy Fang. Said he wants to be the best player in the world. I want
Yep.
him to prove it right here versus
I
IWoo.
Yeah.
Um, you
think
know,
Grim is fucking nuts.
yeah, but one of the best
Those are
riflers
the
we have
big
in
three on
NA.
Cole for sure. And then the big three on Vitality are fucking Masuda, Zaiwu, and
Zaiwu.
Dupree to
Is
me.
It's
Masuda
just,
the big one of the big threes though?
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah,
think
for
so.
sure, for
I think
sure.
so.
He's the star
Zaiwu and
now.
Masuda for sure. And I
I
think
thought it would
out
be
of the
Zaiwu, Magis Dupree.
Magic is not
No, it's
the
not
hottest right
Magis.
now.
It's
Well,
Dupree.
Magis Dupree Dupree's been good. Magis has
Dupree's been
been
fucking lights out, dude.
Yeah,
yeah, but Magis has been dropped off since
He's
joining
he's he's
Vitality.
he's been struggling for sure. I think Masuda's a fucking rock. I think he's like the perfect RPK replacement.
Mm,
I agree. Yeah.
He's such a consistent and like just you can always rely on him, and he's just some young fresh blood. So I think those are the three you'd watch out for either team. Obviously Apex and JT or those are two of the biggest fucking inconsistent in-game leaders, put like
yeah,
RP
mechanical wise.
wise.
Like actually
Apex could just
they
do
can
shit.
both be like 16-5 or 1-13 at any given
Yeah.
time. There's
Yes.
literally no in between for these two guys. So
I
I
think
think that if either of them show up, that'll be a huge benefit to their team.
I think the way Complexity can win this is if somehow Junior can out ops Wu.
That's what I was about to
If
say.
if
Is
And he can.
Junior out ops Wu, Complexity have a really good chance.
Or if they just let Junior play
Be free.
around Zaiwu. Yeah, like
Yeah.
if he's killing everybody else except Zaiwu, then surely the rest of his team can take care.
Yeah.
Like if they put him in positions that Zaiwu isn't and he's just killing all the riflers, that works too.
But if Junior is just doing one of those
If
games where
Junior
he just
can't,
doesn't
he
hit a
can't
single
find a single
shot,
shot. Yeah,
this should be an easy vitality game.
most likely, unless Floppy has something to say about it,
Yeah,
which he does.
unless Floppy just drops fucking his
Which he
floppy
does
dick down.
sometimes.
But
So
Floppy Pickem.
I think basically to wrap up this match, if we're all in agreement, this is definitely a good match to bet on. But like with like the 4 odds or whatever they're giving right now. If
It went
do you,
yeah,
do
it's
you
down.
have
4 odds.
Empire open to just like look at the
I
odds?
did actually.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Okay. But what's it called? It went down to like a 3.3.
Really?
Did it? Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my god, yeah, it's a 3.39 right now. That being
Jeez.
said, I still think that this game is probably like a 60-40 for vitality. So 3.39 odds are still really good odds to
Agreed.
bet on a little bit on Cole.
Yeah.
That like this game will say a lot about the round 2 and 3 matchups. Especially if there's more best of ones. Like if either of these teams are 1-1 and have a couple more best of ones to play. I think this will show a lot about what you should be doing in the next stages. And is also like a decent bet for Cole. That's my opinion.
To wrap things up, predictions. Start with Tyler.
Like
Uh,
actually, who's gonna win? Like not
Yes.
like betting wise. Like you're
Just
we're
yes.
gonna just straight up say who's
I
winning and
will
you're writing it
record
down.
all of our
Okay,
Pickems. Yes.
gotcha. Just like we did in.
vitality for sure. If it goes to Vertigo, I think
All right.
Dust 2, I give it more of the 60-40 towards vitality. With
So
vitality, I think
overall, you're
overall
going by.
vitality, yeah. Because I think complexity aren't bad on Dust 2 or on Vertigo, but I think they're both similar win rates on Vertigo. But I think
Yeah,
vitality just have the slight edge, just from the players in general.
Mateo prediction,
I think Cole's gonna win
and I also think Cole
Inferno.
is
On
on
Inferno, really.
Inferno. Yeah, I also think it's going to Inferno. I
Yeah,
would
good.
hope
Yeah,
Complexity are smart enough to ban Dust 2, and Vitality
they
will
should.
ban Nuke for their final one.
I think Cole looked good on Dust 2.
You think
Or I think if given time, Cole should be good on Dust 2.
it'll be up to
Because
Vitality to pick
Junior
the.
and Grim, that was like their best maps on Triumph.
Mhm.
When they used to play on Triumph together. And obviously players like Floppy and Fang, JT can actually be useful by double hopping. I think that if they've put work into Dust 2, I trust their Dust 2. So I'll say that too. I
Cool.
actually don't think it would be bad for them to leave that open. I would be happy to see a Dust 2 game
Yeah,
from this.
it would be Dust 2, Inferno, Vertigo though for sure though.
Yeah, I think it has to be one of those 3.
Mhm.
All right, moving on. We gotta get going for the
I'm
next
down to
one.
take this game. I think
Yeah.
I
I
like this.
love
I
this
like this
game.
game.
I really love this game.
So this game right here, is Bad News Eagles versus Eternal Fire. This game is basically the 2 closest teams in skill that I think that are in this fucking thing. So the fact that they're seated right next to each other and the odds are 50-50 pretty much is very telling. I will say I think overall Eternal Fire has a better chance of making it out of this stage. But in this matchup in particular, literally because it's a best of 1, I think the Bad News Eagles are a little bit favored. I'd say maybe like 60-40. If this was a best of 3, I would literally change it 60-40 to Eternal Fire. I think Bad News Eagles definitely have a shitty map pool, but it's hard to punish that in a best of 1. Um, I think that I think that it probably just it can go to really any map. It
I
can
say
go to
Dust
Dust 2,
2.
Yeah,
Mirage, Inferno, any of that shit. Really like
E-Fire ban, Ancient.
any of the basic ass maps this can go to.
Yeah,
And literally it's straight up a coin flip. I think that you give Bad News Eagles the tiniest bit of edge because it's a best of 1. If it was a best of 3, you'd give Eternal Fire the tiniest bit of edge. But yeah, this is literally a coin flip. I would not suggest adding this to like any combos or anything like that. If you were doing something like that, I think that the odds just aren't worth it either way, really. I think that that's dead. Unless you have like a team that you want to win and you want to cheer for and you want to bet on them for that reason. Other than that, I'd stay away from this game probably.
Who is the favorite? Or the number or seeding wise, who's the higher seed?
Bad News Eagles
BNE,
is seeded 8 and Eternal Fire is seeded
E-Fire 9.
9.
Yeah,
Okay. So Bad News Eagles should start on CT confirmed. Is that how they're
I
doing
think
this?
that's how it works, but I'm not too
Well,
sure.
to be fair, the team can choose if they
Yeah.
want map picks
But
for the
like
3 bands.
Yeah.
90% of the time, it's
99% of the
CT.
time, the team chooses what side they get to start on, as opposed to the 4 bands instead of the 3. I
Yeah.
think
But
is how it works.
they always choose CT, is what I'm saying.
Most of the time. I
Yeah.
mean,
Depends
I
on the
think
map, but yeah,
I
CT
think
is just
one time fucking someone was playing against Heroic, I think
Heroic.
it
yeah.
was,
That was
I remember
and
that
they
Heroic. It
picked T
was
side of Nuke and got
it
like
was
3 rounds.
a go. It was a go.
It was a yeah, it
Yeah,
was
no,
Ago,
because a
yeah,
go picked
yeah.
I think T side either Mirage or Nuke,
They
and
picked
I
T
remember
side of Nuke,
Cadian. Oh, was it Nuke? Yeah, I remember
yeah, and they
Cadian
got
just
like
tweeted out.
16-2'd.
Yeah, Cadian tweeted. I was like, don't know about that, T side Nuke pick, but hey,
I
GG's.
think it works, man. If you know what you're doing.
if you just
Yeah,
get a solid
Genuinely,
amount of 6
I know we
rounds.
play fucking level 4 Face It, but I genuinely
yeah.
like starting on T side more. I like starting on T side more. So yeah,
Uh,
overall, this game's
BNE
definitely an interesting one. I know
is
Tyler loves
flames.
BNE, so
BNE is flames for me from last major. I don't know why, but I love BNE. This team is great, dude.
Because they got a
Fucking
sick story, man. They're just a bunch of
that is why
friends.
I love them too, because they're literally playing in LAN cafes.
I mean, one Flatro, like come
One
on.
Dude, one
Flatro
Flatro is
is
nuts. Synopsy
nuts.
is nuts. Brigan is nuts. They're all fucking insane.
So those
All
are your
right,
key players to look
those are your
out
players.
for.
Yeah,
On the other side,
Yeah.
Mateo, who are your players to look out for?
I think that the RMR was not a good showing of how comfortable Xantares looks on this Eternal Fire team. I don't think he did
Yeah.
much at all. I think Calyx and Woxic really brought them through the mate or through the
Calyx
RMR.
especially was
Calyx is
solid.
playing really well. Woxic is doing what he needs to do. Imor definitely struggles, but I think he's a key part to the team. Like he's an
He's the
insane
opera, right?
pistol player. No, Woxic is. What do
Anymore?
you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
Woxic.
I've seen him more. The one time I did see him, he was
I
hopping.
think that Eternal Fire looked about as bad as they possibly could have while making it through still.
I like X Flood.
Um, X-Cloud's a good
The
player.
one game I
He
saw
was a
against
really good
OG.
replacement for Issa.
Yeah,
Was it Issa or who was
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it
yeah, I
was.
think it was Issa.
Well, I mean, in the long run, it was Issa. I don't know if there was like a player in between that,
Yeah,
but yeah.
exactly.
I think that you guys know I'm the biggest fucking big to Xantares to big fucking hater in the world that ever existed. I think that this shows why I hated it so much because he looks so good on this
I
team.
forgot that even happened. That
He
didn't
was
last
on there for
long.
like a year and a half, and I absolutely fucking got mad every single time I looked at it. You can ask Alec,
Mhm.
dude.
Yep.
I fucking hate. I think it was a terrible move for both parties, being big and Xantares. But he looks so comfortable on this team. Armar, he definitely struggled a little bit. So if we're going off of recent results, the players to look out for would be Woxic, Calyx, and Xcloud. But you're really hoping if you're a fucking Eternal Fire fan that the players to look out for would then be Xantares, Woxic, and Xcloud. You really hope that Calyx doesn't have to do as much as he did because he's not doing that very often. So you would hope that Xantares kind of takes back that leadership. I will say I have Eternal Fire making that in my pickems. I know we're not there yet, but I genuinely
Yeah.
have them in the best of threes. So, and I do not have BNE doing that at all because their best of threes they struggle so fucking much. Their map pool is so dog shit. The only way I see it is maybe they go up 2-0 in best of ones, which they very well could. I will admit that they very well can go up 2-0 in best of ones. But then they just get a lucky draw on one of the best of threes. That's the only way I see. I genuinely would take almost every other team beating B&E in a best of 3 in the whole entire group. Even 9Z, fucking Liquid, Renegades, like actually,
That's what I was
like
thinking as
any of
well.
those teams. I think that B&E has to at least go 2-1, at least 2-1 in the best of ones, if not 2-0. Which is why this matchup right here, the best of one, I'd give B&E the smallest favor, but overall, I'd say Eternal Fire is a better team.
So saying that prediction wise, Mateo, you got BNE,
I'm
or are you
going Eternal
taking
Fire still.
you're taking Eternal? Okay.
I'm going BNE.
Tyler will take,
I gotta support the boys.
and I am also taking Eternal Fire.
Damn,
Goddamn
Alec.
boy.
Yeah, I
Fuck. Am
know.
I the lone one again?
Tyler's on his own.
Sorry,
Shit.
man.
Hey, I was fine. I fucking was on my own on these
He'll
pick'ems
take
or
the
the last
2-0.
pick'ems.
That's true.
Shit.
But hype. If it, I will say just to end it. Bad News Eagles are a hype team.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know, they are
fucking
like
hype as fuck.
Copenhagen Flames. If they get going, they'll get going.
100%. And
Homies.
Eternal Fire fucking crumble too. So
Yeah,
it's literally like if Bad News Eagles gets off to a good start, I don't see like a nice comeback or anything like that from Eternal Fire. If
yeah,
it's a close, gritty game, Eternal Fire will probably bring it out. And obviously, if Eternal Fire, like start off with a good lead, I think that's good. But if BNE start off with like a hot streak, Eternal Fire win or lose a couple rounds they shouldn't, the game's probably just over at that point.
yep. All right, moving on. Tyler, you want to take us away?
Oh yeah. My my favorite matchup of this is fucking G2 Liquid. This should be an easy G2 game, in my opinion. But that's also because I'm a G2 fan. But if it goes Mirage, it's fucking Liquid all day.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
hate G2's Mirage. I've fucking been watching it for the past fucking half a year. It is not good.
I will
But they
say
always lean towards it,
you
which
can you
pissed me off.
you can finish your thoughts after this. I will say though, Jack's moving to A, great move for them. They're actually
Yes.
their Mirage is
No,
looking better with
Jax.
Jack
Yeah,
going to A.
Jax
So,
on A
sorry, go ahead and
is
finish.
like,
But I think their
yeah,
Mirage is a
you're
little
right with
stronger than it
that.
used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is stronger, but it's their T side is like they
For sure, for sure.
struggle hard
Yeah,
on T side. I was not a fan of the Alexi change
I don't
with
like
the
Lexi
next
at all.
Alexi change. I like him as a player, but I don't know if he fits right now. I don't know if they're just struggling. I think they're gonna go 3-0 just because the last time they were in the major they were doubted and they went 3-0. But fucking Muncie on the op. Do they go to I want them to go to Vertigo.
I'm laughing because I know exactly what the predictions are going to be again.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I know you two are gonna go liquid. Just from what
yeah,
I've heard,
so
but
I also agree
I
with Tyler right here. This Mirage G2
their
is
Mirage is
not it.
terrible.
They're also ancient
33%.
though. Their ancient is not very strong.
It can be. They've showed good ancient, but they've also showed really terrible
I
ancient.
think everybody showed good ancient on the CT side. To be fair, I don't.
Yes.
I think everyone
But
looks competent on the CT side, but that's
It's
kind of
saying
the
depending on
problem.
how you can
That's
play
kind of
T
the
side.
problem, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
saying that though, Elige and Naf on ancient are like the two best, and Nitro especially
Even
are.
Shocks.
Yeah, I
The
guess the
Liquid
whole
look
two.
Oh,
really good
oh
on.
yeah.
Look really good
OC
on
Liquid's
kind of
ancient.
ancient's good.
OC
OC
definitely
is
struggles.
is literally the key factor in the if they win or not. If OC is performing, then they're gonna win this game. It's gonna be the OC versus Monacy matchup that I'm hella excited for. I know Naf is gonna stay consistent. I hope Elige actually performs because he's been on and off, but on
He's been very
lately.
on and off.
Yeah. Which is surprising because he
I
used to
still
just be the
stand.
most consistent.
I literally still stand by the fact that I think Alicia has been the best rifler in North America for the longest time.
Yeah,
And
and NA for sure.
the past couple months is the only time that I've ever questioned it. He's definitely been struggling a little bit. Before that, I don't think anyone was really close to him, but he's definitely been struggling. I don't know if it's he's picking up new roles with Shocks coming in or anything like that, but he has definitely struggled since the start of this
They
new year,
were
and I would love to see
very
him.
shaky
I would
when
love
they
to see him
first
play better again.
Yeah,
adding
exactly.
Shocks, Nitro, and OC.
Because
They were
even
shaky at
Nitros looks
first.
comfortable again. Even
Yeah,
Nitro
he's
looks,
Yeah,
back.
which is
yeah.
good.
It didn't take as
They all
long as
look
some people
comfortable
thought,
now, and
except
they
for
actually look
Elige.
like a
Yeah,
good liquid, like the
yeah,
good liquid that we expected them to be.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
excited
think
for Liquid right now.
hmm
I think this goes either Inferno or Vertigo.
G2
It could
ban
go Dust 2 as
Mirage,
well.
Overpass, and
I think
Ancient.
they. Well,
It
I mean,
goes
I hope they ban
Vertigo,
Mirage. They have been
or
banning Mirage lately,
I can see
which is
another
good.
Dust 2, sadly. I can see all
Yeah, that's
games
what I
going
was.
to Dust 2.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
two
that is.
also.
Dust 2 is such a map that is
Especially in a best of one.
Yeah, I mean, you still kind of have to favor G2 because of the players. Like if Nico and Hunter are just fucking hitting shots on this too, I mean nothing you can really do.
I think
yeah, for sure.
I think it goes between Inferno and Dust 2, and I think G2 will take Dust 2 because Nico
Liquid would
hates
take
Inferno.
Inferno. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
I could very
they've
well
been
see that.
playing it more. I think it's their most played map recently. Nine,
It
yeah,
is.
not
It is. Yeah.
Mirage and Inferno.
And saying that Monacy opping on Dust 2 is terrifying.
Dude, Muncie, if I love the kid, but he can fucking struggle sometimes.
Bright side for
I'm just
Liquid,
hoping the
they
major does
don't.
not get to him.
Bright side for Liquid, G2 does not have a comfortable double up at all.
No,
And
No,
they
Liquid
don't.
definitely
no,
does in
no, they
NAF
don't. Yeah,
and
Yeah.
Nitro. Liquid definitely does in NAF and Nitro.
Whereas G2, you need
I've seen
the star
Alexi pick up
players
the
you're
fucking
looking
off.
at. star players you're looking at for G2, obviously Nico, you want him to
Nico, Hunter.
It's got to
perform,
be the big three.
but it's got to be Hunter.
Nico, Hunter, Munasu.
Yeah.
Hunter
Unfortunately, the
is
support in the IGL, you're not really looking at them in this game.
yeah,
no.
no. Hunter
Hey.
has been so consistent though these past few months that it's ridiculous.
He's
He
been the
drops
most
like
consistent on the team.
he's dropped like 25 frags a game minimum.
Yeah, every time you watch, he's
Nico,
just plus
Nico
many
did
plus.
look good during the
Yeah.
RMR too,
Yeah,
which
Nico
is a
definitely had
plus
a good
because he
RMR.
did kind of struggle before that.
Hmm
He
I'm
has not.
hoping-
Nico has not looked comfortable since Munacy came in.
Yeah,
And Alexi B.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
Obviously,
Jax can pop
I
off,
think
dude.
overall in this game, okay. So what I will say is, to me in this game, right now, this is probably one of the best games to bet on odds wise. I
Yeah.
genuinely think that this is a 50-50 game.
Hmm
And 2.41 odds is pretty good for Liquid. Both of these teams since the start of the new year have had insane potential and showed it sometimes and not showed it other times. These two teams are so fucking flip-flop right now. The only reason that G2 should be favored here is because if both teams are playing at the top of their level, you would probably think G2 is a little bit of a stronger team, aim-wise, all that stuff. So, like, if both teams play at their top potential and we see a good game of CS, like 16-12, 16-13, anywhere in that range, G2 is probably going to take it. But either of these teams could just not show up completely. And I think that for that reason alone, the 2.41 is pretty good. Like, if you start getting down into the scraps and both teams are playing bad and shit like that, that's where NA fucking thrives, baby.
Yeah,
So
the scrappy CS.
if both teams are looking good in this game, it's a close game, and G2 end up taking it, I would not lose faith in Liquid at all. I would
Yeah.
not lose faith in them. But if one of them doesn't show up, then that's where it starts getting kind of scary for either of them.
The thing is, too, though, Liquid is the 15th seed.
Yes,
So
that is
this
a
game does really on them making it out. This game depends on it hard for them because one higher seed team could just get upset and they have to play
And they
another
can go
strong
down
team
0-2
and go
well,
immediately.
down
no.
0-2 quick.
If they win this game, or if they lose this game, the highest seeded team that got upset, Liquid has to play pretty much.
Yeah, which
Unless 9Z somehow beat Ence, but I don't see that happening.
which
And
could,
even
like,
then, if Liquid do beat them, they play Ence. So
yes, so Liquid's gonna
seeding
have a
wise, Liquid is
hard
gonna have a hard ass time.
hard time getting out, but I still think they can easily make it out.
I mean, if we're being genuinely honest, though, if we want to look that far forward, we won't go too deep into it because obviously there's more games. If we want to look that far forward, if you look at the top 8 teams and the teams that potentially could get upset, Forze could very well be that
Oh
team.
yeah,
I think
Forze
that
is the
Forze is
number
the highest
3
rated
seed,
team.
right?
I think that Forze is the highest rated team that is literally not safe at all from their first round matchup.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
they're
So
the
if
3 seed,
all things
which is
considered,
crazy.
Liquid could be drawing Forze. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's not,
Not too bad.
not too bad. They could also be drawing Imperial or MIBR if nothing crazy happens in the other games, that kind of thing. So, it's not terrible. But yes, they are
For some
the
reason, the 15th
15th
seed.
seed. So, yeah,
Don't know how that
definitely.
happened, but that's yeah.
All right,
I used
guys.
to like the majors where before the major, every team would sit down and rank the other teams 1 through 15, and that
Oh,
would
is
be the
that how it
seeding.
was?
It used to be like
Dude,
that,
that's
yeah.
so much better. I think.
Yeah, the teams would rank the other teams,
That's
but
sick,
now
actually.
it's coming
Honestly,
through the
Liquid
RMR
should
and stuff
not
like
be
that.
a 15
Yeah, and they
seed.
used to release the documents of how the other teams viewed the other teams. I thought it was really cool.
That's
Yeah,
a sick way, actually.
Yeah.
That's like
because
almost the
I
all
mean,
pro
I
or
want to know
Pro
how
Bowl.
Yeah.
like how is Complexity higher seeded when they both went 3-1 in the RMR?
Because I think they beat Liquid, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I bet
Complexity?
on that game.
They beat Liquid in that
On
RMR,
Vertigo
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
in OT, I think.
Liquid,
Wait, when?
Cole was the
Wait.
team that Liquid lost to.
No, Liquid lost to Double Elimination.
Oh yeah, they did.
Oh,
Maybe that's why, because
They
they
didn't
lost to
play
a
each
lower
other.
seed. Maybe
Yeah,
because they
I
lost
think
to a lower
that's
seeded
why.
team.
Because Complexity only lost to MIBR in their 2-0 matchup.
Yeah.
okay.
So I guess I don't know. The new seeding they have is weird.
All right, guys, we got to move on.
Yeah.
On obvious predictions, Tyler, G2, and
G2,
us,
yeah.
Liquid.
Yep.
All right,
Jesus
let's move on to
Christ.
Forze Renegades. Mateo
I'm ready to
probably
be
would
anonymous.
like
You
this
want me to
one.
take this one? You want Astralis IHC? You
I
want to give me
kind of
this
want
one?
to take Astralis IHC, honestly. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll watch a lot.
Let me talk about this one. This game right here, I genuinely think is one of the best games to bet on all day. I think that Renegades are one of the most overlooked teams, like all the time. I think that the only thing is the reason they're overlooked is because they never actually fucking do it. They always push teams that are better than them so fucking hard, but they never actually do it. They never actually close it out. But for that reason alone, they are one of the best teams. When you look at other teams like 9Z and like even IHC, who's from their region pretty much, they do not get European experience like Renegades does. Renegades is always the team coming out from the Asia qualifiers that is always getting into these top tier 1 teams or tier 1 tournaments like the, you know what I mean? They're always the lowest seed because they're from fucking Australia, but they're always the team that is making it out to the majors. They're always making it to the other teams like the Dallases and the fucking all that stuff, you know what I mean? Even though I don't think they made it to this one, but like they're always getting the Katowices, they're getting the Dallases, they're getting the New Yorks, they're getting like all these big tournaments. They always have experience against the top teams, which I think benefits them compared to a team like 9Z who although does look hotter and does have more promise in recent times and stuff like that, they have no European experience pretty much. And so with a team like Renegades that is always there, I think one of these tournaments, whether it's not this one or maybe the next one or whatever, one of these tournaments they will finally show it and they will break through and they'll make like a fucking quarterfinals or something like that because they've always been so close. And I think that a team like Forze is one of the best draws they could have gotten for having 14 seed.
Yep.
Like
Oh
this
yeah,
this game to me, the odds are so good for Renegades. I think that
yeah.
this is one of the best matches to bet on.
I fucking hate Force. I
S-
don't think Force is a good team at all.
Saying that, I will go ahead and be the Force supporters on
I
this.
know you are, yeah, you are.
Yeah,
They will. They have showed so much promise in this past event, the RMRs, that
They looked
Shalfie
better
looks
than everybody
so
thought.
good. Zorday
mhm.
finally looks like Zorday. You know, Jerry is one of the. I don't know why, but he always seems to frag. I don't get it. Um, Kenzie and Norway are kind of just there, but Kenzie's performing a little bit. Um, I think they have a really good chance on Mirage, but which is what I think it's going to. But saying that, Renegades have a really good Mirage as
They do.
well. They took
Mhm.
OG to 16-14, which they probably should have won that game. I think they just choked a little bit under pressure.
In
I
my opinion, I think fours. This is my opinion. They went 3-1, but
But it
they did
wasn't a
not have to play
comfortable.
good
It
teams.
wasn't a
They did
comfortable.
not have
Yeah,
to play good
that's exactly
teams.
what I was gonna say. Like looking at that RMR, it was not a comfortable 3-1. They beat Gamer Legion 16-14 barely, OG 19-17 barely again, and then Saw they got I think destroyed on the
They
first map.
they they drew Saw
Oh
in a
no,
2-1
yeah,
in a
two
2-1
one,
game,
and
and
they
they
lost Nuke
yeah they
16-14, but then they destroyed them. But like Saw didn't even make it out.
yeah.
So it's like their draws were insane for them to make it out to make the major. So that's why I'm leaning more towards Renegades, just
That
because
being said,
they,
obviously you can look at Renegades pass and be like, well,
yeah,
they
true,
didn't they're
because
not playing anybody either.
they've only been playing
They
the
got 2-0'd by
Australians.
IHC, and it was bad,
Was it
but
bad?
yeah,
I
it was
didn't watch
ugly.
that one.
They got like 16 forward.
Players to
Ouch.
look out for right here obviously are going to be, like I said, Zorday and Shalfie, Renegades, Mateo, obviously. That's going to be Elias, Sicko, and Alistair.
Yeah, for
The big
sure.
three.
Yeah, I would actually
Sicko
put
is
Hats
so
there
nuts. Really, I
instead
thought
of
Ence has
Sicko.
been playing pretty good too.
I
Instead of
think
And
Hats is a
Sicko?
pretty important player.
Is he
Yeah,
really? Okay.
I think Sicko's pretty consistent and Hats isn't, so that's why you would want to look at Hats to be on
He
that
kind of
better
your key
swing.
factor
Yeah,
this
yeah,
game.
exactly. If he shows up, it's the game's gonna be a lot easier kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But he could also very well start off like 0-10, and you don't really see that from Sicko. He's always that kind of fucking 4-6, 5-5, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think Hats is a little bit more important to look at. Because if you don't have your attention on Sicko, he's probably doing all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that being
Predictions
said,
wise,
I'm
I
or is it
I
a full
think
leaning
you're
sweep?
toward I'm leaning towards the Renegades.
I think you're going fours, aren't you not, Alec?
I want to because I also
I haven't
I'm going
both
to
these
bet
teams I
on
didn't really
Renegades,
watch.
Yes,
100%,
for sure, for
but
sure.
I am gonna take fours. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that maybe our judgment, like if anyone's watching and like looking at our previous, like me and Alex previous fucking match picks where we've picked the underdog every single time, I think that that's a bad example because in these picks that we're doing, we are not trying to pick underdogs because we're not betting money on it. We are trying to predict who we genuinely think is going to win the game. And me and Alec genuinely think that Complexity is going to beat Vitality, Liquid is going to beat G2, and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's different. Your pick'ems are different. Your betting is different. Your predictions are different. Everything should be different, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Mm.
agreed.
Just because you're going to bet on Renegades does not mean you should think Forze isn't going to win the game because they probably should.
Yeah, they
just
should.
like Vitality will probably beat Complexity, just like G2 will probably beat Liquid, but that does not mean they're not good games to bet on, which is different from pick'ems, which is different from predictions. They're all three of those things are completely different things. So just like I don't want, you know, that to be like confusing or anything like that. Just because I've picked the underdog in all 4 games does not mean I have a betting addiction.
No, I was right there with you with Renegades
Mhm.
pretty much. It's a 50-50
Yeah, exactly.
game. All right, I'll go ahead and do Astralis IHC. I heart China. I heart cock. I whatever you
Can
want to call
I,
it.
I'm just not gonna say it.
Yeah, and we thank you.
Come.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I
that
have a
one.
lot
Yeah,
worse
no,
one.
no, that's it.
Oh.
So Astralis for some reason look like they're back. Farlig, it looks perfect for the fit.
That's what. Hey, what was that, Alec? He looks perfect for the fit. Called by fucking Mateo like 8 months ago.
Literally called by
He
Mateo 8 months ago out of nowhere. He's like, this Farlig guy is really good. He used to
should
play
go.
with
He should.
Sticko. He should go to Astralis. 8 months later, here he is playing with them, looking absolutely insane. Blame F looks like a top 3 player in the world right now.
He actually does. I'm not even kidding. I hate the guy,
I
but it's
am a
hard to hate him. It's
huge
hard to hate
Blame
him.
F and Config fan. I was
I
so happy when they moved
hate
over here.
conflict.
I
Yeah, I still hate
think
config.
Config is kind of your key factor in this because Blame F has been consistent. He's your star, really.
Yeah, I will say usually it was they came together in like groups. Blame F and
Yeah,
config would perform
but
or they
not
wouldn't.
anymore. It's
But
Blame
Blame
F
F is
lurking.
consistent, so you're just kind of looking at config.
Yeah, and he's starting to
Yeah, he's
lurk
been
really good
struggling.
now, and he's solid on CT side. If they go Ancient here, which I think they will, he's gonna drop 25 on these guys, and he's gonna do it Cave unless the game ends 16-4,
Is
which it
there?
could be on CT Ancient.
I can't see it go. Does it really go ancient?
Yes, I can. I can see it
If
going
dude,
Ancient. I can see it going any of these maps,
I
but
I will say this. I think Astralis are the best ancient team in the world right now.
I also do. I do not think that. I think
Dude, their T side is actually fucking insane
who is it?
on
Who
I
is
will
it?
ancient.
say their T side is one of the strongest for sure.
Yes, that makes them
But
a
their CT side
top.
swings so hard on whether Blame F is
Yeah,
playing good or not. So I think they genuinely have one of the better T sides in the world, but that does not mean
which
they are one of the
yeah,
best.
but just even having a
On
good T
paper,
side on ancient.
yeah, on paper it
Yeah,
should mean that, but their CT side's actually not that good unless Blame F's
if they
25
could
and
like
4.
if their CT side can stay consistent, all you need like to be a good team on ancient is to have a good T side, and you're just considered one of the best teams on that map, which is how favored fucking CT side is.
But yeah, I kind of just want to like move past this game because we're so far into it. Because I honestly think this is one of the easiest games of the day to
It's
predict,
definitely.
besides the Ence
Oh yeah,
game.
it's Astralis for sure.
This should be an Astralis full-on 16-5 maximum for them. On
That being said, me in the past, all the majors that I've watched, I'm 100% still betting on this game.
Yep, because they also look really insane. They beat Looking for Org and they beat Tyloo, which Tyloo should be here instead of them, and they ended
That's
up
what everyone
beating
thought.
them.
They 2-0'd Renegades as well.
hmm
Yeah,
This
So
is not a team. We're not at Pickems yet. This is not a team to put in your 0-3 though. I'll
this is
say that.
definitely
no,
not a team to put in Euro 3, but what seed do they have?
They have like right above Renegades and Liquid,
I think
Okay.
they're
so like
13th.
13th or something like
I
that.
don't
Yeah.
Yeah,
actually think it's that bad of a team to put 0-3. I think that they will win a game, but I think that there's better 0-3
I
teams to
think
pick.
yeah, I think if they're
there is
playing
better. Yes.
against other teams in 0-2, like the other
I
teams
can
that are
see them
supposed to be
beating,
0-2,
like
I see
for
them
example,
beating them.
fours.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah,
but
no, but
yeah,
I feel like we shouldn't waste too much time on this one.
yeah.
Yeah.
All three of
So
us are gonna put down Astralis.
Tyler,
Not a
go.
bad match to bet on
No,
though.
I'm taking
Yeah,
Imperial Spirit.
yeah.
Ooh, that's
Go
a good
ahead
one.
and take the
Is it,
Brazilians.
dude? I don't know. I mean, Spirit, I don't know at all.
Do you
But
want to switch
watching,
maybe then?
You want to
I the
take
well,
Ence
the last
9Z?
Which
actually,
one
yeah,
would
I'll
you
take
rather have out of that one? You
N9Z.
want NZ
Is
9Z? Okay.
is more comfortable
I mean,
for
I'll
me.
take
You,
that.
you
I'll take
take
it.
you
My
want to take
bad.
you want to take this one, and we'll just
No, no, I'll take it. My BR
all right, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we
outside.
know which one Mateo's taking.
Go ahead.
You
It's
want me
you,
to do
Alex.
it? Yeah,
Oh,
it's all
Oh,
you.
oh,
You
this
you
one.
yeah,
like you this is one of your favorite. I've
yeah.
heard you talk about this game a lot. Yeah,
You were talking
Okay,
about
you can
Spirit.
talk about this
okay,
game.
yeah, yeah. So this is one of my favorite games of the day. I think that fucking Imperial are absolutely back. They are ready to play some fucking CS. Fur looks out of his mind right now. He's got an HLTV rating of 1.28, and he's just killing everyone. Uh, FNX looks reformed. He's back, doing his thing. Fallen's doing his thing, doing what he's supposed to do, and then you got Vinny there fragging out.
It's crazy that Vinny's actually the one that I think is struggling a little bit.
Bolts has been pretty consistent as the support player, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I think Vinny is a key
Yeah.
to this game. He's not looked the most comfortable, but obviously his time and fury and stuff like that, you have to put faith into him, and you think he should be able to turn that around.
Yep. Um, Spirit on the other hand, they look pretty okay actually with these two youngsters. At first, I thought this was going to be a
Yeah.
horrible move with Mir gone. I think
hmm
Mir was their best player by far. Also, Mir and Chopper have never broken up before, so this was kind of
Yep.
weird.
Every time they've been at the top, they were together.
Exactly.
Oh shit, yeah.
Except for
Wait,
when
what
Mir went
team
to
is Mir
Gambit.
on now?
Except for when
he's
Mir went to Gambit.
nothing. He's not
Yeah,
nobody.
Mir's not even there anymore. Isn't that Patsy's the new guy?
But
Patsy and
yeah,
Siren, right?
Yeah.
Patsy and Siren are the new boys. Patsy is absolutely cracked on Spirit Academy. He was the one that was like, yes, he has to be pulled up now.
hmm
Um, Siren, on the other hand, was the
Was he
second
also on
guy.
Academy?
Yeah, I believe so.
hmm
I'm like 99. You want to pull that up for me, Mateo? See if he was.
Tyler can.
Okay.
What am I looking
Just
up?
go to his player profile and see if he came from Academy.
Okay, teams.
And
Yeah, Spirit Academy.
okay, cool. Yeah. So Siren was and Patsy was. They're both really good and starting to fit in. Magic's looks cracked. I've always said he's cracked.
I just
I
hate the kid.
I
Yeah,
really think
that's
he's
fair.
pretty good. Dexter is really good too. He's like the next Guardian in my opinion, but he's not as good as Guardian ever was. He's it's just not like how the old Spirit was with Mir. They were like, okay, we're about to be good, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
This is kind of back at the same exact situation. They're kind of good, but they're not tier one yet. Um, I think they're actually one of the best tier two teams right now. They've been dominating tier two as of late, and I really think this is going to be a great game to watch. I think this is also a good game to bet on Imperial. I it's a 50-50 game, but saying that the maps I
I think
favor Imperial in, I think it goes Dust 2 is a good one. I think it can go I would hope it doesn't go Nuke. If it goes Nuke, favorite Spirit 100%. Bet on Spirit if it goes Nuke. Um, Dust 2 Imperial, any other map Imperial really.
All I have to say is FNX 2-0 in majors.
it's true. You can't lose here.
FNX is 2-0 in majors.
You can't lose here, man.
No way you
So
could
we already
lose
know
the
who's winning this major.
If you
trifecta.
win this one, you actually just retire. I'm not even kidding.
Dude, you have to.
I will say, it's a very 50-50 game. You just the only reason I favor Imperial, and I think you do, because the odds are literally 50-50 as well.
Mhm.
Like actually straight up 50-50, not even the slightest edge to anybody. I think the reason Imperial have the slightest edge is almost all the way around. I think that Imperial overall have the tiniest bit better aimers. They have the tiniest bit. I mean, they have a wider range of more experience. They have the
Mhm.
tiniest bit map wise. Like all that stuff. That those little things are definitely what give Imperial the edge to me. Um, so I think, if you're not like a person that likes to bet on like fucking underdogs and shit like that the whole time, I think that this is probably one of the best games to bet on. I genuinely think it's a like a 55-45. You know, if you like watching games like that type of thing, I think that
Exactly.
for sure this is definitely a
It's
good
one of
game.
those you throw into your combo to boost it
Yeah,
up.
exactly, for sure.
Saying
All right, you
that,
go. You go next, Tyler.
predictions. Yeah, but can we get some predictions? Tyler?
Uh, this one's a hard game for
It's
me.
very hard. It's
It is.
genuinely very hard.
I don't
If
like
we're not
Spirit, but
split at least a little bit here, I wouldn't be surprised. I
yeah,
would be very surprised.
personally, I don't like Spirit as a team. I don't
Yeah.
know, just never really liked them. But I know they are pretty good. I
Mhm.
fucking love this Imperial team.
Yeah.
The Last Dance is just fucking amazing. So
Yeah.
like that is what makes me lean towards Imperial. It's
Yeah.
just a slight like
Just the
slightly
love of
Imperial.
them.
Yeah.
And Mateo.
I also love them, but like for the reasons that I stated right before, pretty much just the smallest edges out, like a 55-45. You give all those
Mhm.
little things added up, and Imperial has the smallest bit of favoritism here, and so that's why I'll pick them.
Gotcha. All right, Mateo, take us away with Imperial 9Z or
Yeah,
Imperial 9Z.
let
Jesus.
Tyler do that first. I'm
Ence
outside of my room
9Z.
real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, you do
Oh,
that one,
am I
and
doing
I'll do the other one
N9Z?
last.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like this game. I think this has upset potential.
I also agree.
I
Mirage.
I don't know why, but I really like the 9Z coming into the NA RMR, and they went down 0-2
They won
backs
5
against the
straight best of
wall,
threes.
and they won 5 straight best of threes
Mm-hmm.
to make it. And still, on the other hand, have looked really fucking good. I think
They've looked
Sphinx
insane.
has
Spinks.
looked
Oh
like
my
a
god.
top 3 player in the world right
Yep,
now.
I agree.
And
Spinks has looked cracked.
if he is keeping on form, this
Maiden
should
also
be
looks really good too.
yes, mate. The whole team has looked insane,
Yeah, they
but
actually
you
have.
never know. With sometimes Ents can be a little inconsistent, but lately they have been really fucking good. The only
We're
reason
going
I
off.
like 9Z here is because they were 0-2 and they won those 5 best
Yeah.
of threes when everybody already had counted them out. But I think this is too hard of a matchup. There is upset potential, but I don't see Ents shouldn't losing this. They shouldn't lose this at all.
Yeah. For sure.
Who 9Z
You
let's
got to
see.
look at DGT, man.
DGT, yeah, he's really
Rock's
What about
good.
pretty
Max?
good. Max is.
Rocks.
I love going over
Max
on
isn't
Max
bad.
for some reason.
Yeah. Lucan's been decent. Like
No,
their whole
Lucan.
team.
Lucan, I think is the IGL if I'm not mistaken. He's the
Is he?
opper. He's he's been
I think
playing
he's been
out of
bad.
his mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's the
I will
reason they
say,
got this far.
Mhm.
I will say that.
much like last year on the Copenhagen train that you were both on, I
Yeah.
am not on the 9Z train nor the BNF
BNE.
train, yeah, or BNE train that you guys are also on. I don't see what you guys see in these two teams. But you know, that's fine.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
fair.
like
Well,
9Z,
I
but
mean, for me, it's more BNE than 9Z.
yeah,
It was
for sure.
9Z for me in the NA RMR.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
dude, Ants should just 3-0 this fucking stage.
they
I
should.
I
don't
think
disagree. Yeah.
anything below 3-0 for Ants is
Unless
a
like
little
I
disappointed.
think with Liquid being seeded like 15, that might be the only problem.
Yeah,
Like
that's
if they beat G2 or something like that, then that's probably going to be the hardest game for Ents. But if they can get
yeah.
past
That's a
that,
good point.
But yeah, Ants should just easily just move on. I think
right.
Ants honestly, if I don't know, it's not already on the next stage, but I think they make playoffs.
Yeah, they should.
They're
In
looking
paper,
really
on
good.
paper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he said, keys to look, players to look out for: Spinks, Maiden, Hades on
Oh,
the op, D-Hub. The whole team really is
you
so
should.
good.
Nappy is one of the best
Fragging
performing
IGLs,
IGLs. Yeah.
Mhm.
yes.
Like you don't just drop fucking 40 kills in 24 rounds on Ancient and just not be
Yeah.
considered a top
A
5, top
god.
3 player. Like that's. I heard him drop 40 that game. I was like, there's just
Yeah, he
no
did.
way.
He
Like
did it
that
like
is.
16-9 or something.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
it
yeah, it
was
was
16-8.
16-8.
Yeah.
Oh, was it
Like
even
that
6?
is fucking insane, dude.
That's
24 rounds and he's
almost
dropping
2 kills a
40
round
kills.
Mm,
on
crazy.
average. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So predictions, are we doing full clean sweep ends?
has
Yeah,
to be.
you have to.
All right. Mateo, are you back for this one?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Yeah, let me step off. All right. Last game The first groups, first stage is best of ones. MIBR Outsiders. On paper, if you haven't been following CS for the past like couple months, you would think, how is Outsiders seeded like 12 or 11 and MIBR seeded like 7 or 8? This should be like MIBR should easily like lose this game. Outsiders are definitely a way better team. Outsiders like a top 5 team in the world, that kind of thing. In recent times, in the past couple months, man, in recent form, Outsiders are about as bad as they can look, while MIBR is about as good as they could look. I think this is one of the best games to bet on today. Probably up there. Probably, honestly, this might be the best game to bet on today on MIBR.
Yeah.
Like percentage-wise, upset potential, I genuinely think this is probably one of the best games to bet on today.
Yeah.
That being said, there's been so many rumors about this Outsiders roster not being a thing after this major. And so for that reason alone, I think Outsiders are going 3-0 in this stage. And they're making playoffs, and they're going to make like semifinals or some shit. Just because they have nothing to play for.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can see that.
I kind of want to put Outsiders as my 3-0 pick, but I think I still trust them over complexity just a little bit, so I switched those out. But yeah, betting wise, I think this is one of the best games today to bet on. Team, in recent time, the players to look for, men, have to be fucking Kicker. Like
Yes, Kicker's been the most consistent.
Kicker, obviously big game Kicker. I've always called him that. Kicker and Yakindar are definitely the 2 players you have to be looking at. More so than them, for some reason, you have to look at James. The only reason that is because they put so much into him that he has to play good.
Yep.
He had such a bad major last major, and I hope that the same does not happen.
He had a poor RMR as well.
He had a poor RMR as well. If James did not have a bad major last major, they may have been the only team that could have taken down Navi.
I mean, shit, they made quarters still.
Yeah, they still made quarters with James playing that bad. Buster and Kicker are literally insane at majors. So I think obviously Buster would be a good player to look at too, but you can't not have Yakinder in your players to look at on that team.
Oh, no, Yakinder was just fucking
and with
nuts.
how Kicker's been playing recently, you have to have him. And with how much stock they put into James, you have to have him. So those are probably the 3 players you're looking for. MIBR, for me, it's got to be Woody, Turtle, and maybe Joda.
Really?
Maybe X. Yeah.
I was thinking, see, Joda's your IGL.
Yeah.
Cello's your star.
Dude. Joda's a good player though.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I was gonna say Cello, Exit, and Woody for me are your stars. Woody versus James is gonna be a fantastic matchup. I think Woody is a really underrated op. He kind of reminds me of Fallen. Really Exit, on the other hand, kind of is like your art player, where he's really random. He'll do some crazy ass shit, and you'll be like, "What the fuck, that worked?" He'll win rounds for your team or lose rounds for your team. So I'm really excited for this matchup too, as well, like you said, for betting and for just watching.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the funnest matches to watch all day.
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup.
I want to see how Outsiders perform now that they're here, now that they're at the major.
They made it. You don't have to look at how they made it. They made it. They always make it.
They always make it. They somehow do it, but they do it.
I think they do get a lot better though
once the pressure kicks in. That's where they thrive.
I personally think Outsiders are going to be the underrated 3-0 team that
I think so too.
The desk are going to be like, always... what the fuck is this? Where was this like?
This shouldn't have happened.
This whole time.
Yeah. Especially if they actually do disband after this and they don't have anything to play for, might as well just go out with a fucking major win.
Yeah. Yeah. Maps, I can see this one going to Ancient, Overpass, Dust 2, maybe Inferno. It can really go anywhere. Even Overpass.
Mirage, those are permabans for both teams. So.
Yeah,
it can be any of the other 5 maps. Obviously, MIBR is not going to let it go to Mirage, and the Outsiders are not going to let it go to Nuke. Other than that, whatever the teams are feeling, whatever they've been practicing, it could easily go on any of the other 5 maps.
Yeah, I really don't know what it could go to, honestly, what it's going to do.
Yeah, genuinely, this is probably one of the hardest to predict that way, because each team has 1 permaban, and other than that, they play the other 6 maps. So that leaves 5 maps after the 2 permabans, and You know, it's that thing of whether the teams want to put more time into their maps they've been struggling on, or the more time into the maps that they're good at and get really good at them, that kind of thing. So, you know, like Outsiders could have been putting a lot of work into their Vertigo Ancient since it's their lower win rate maps kind of thing. Or
Right.
I think that the fact that MIBR kind of permaban Mirage is a good thing for Outsiders here,
So good.
because for some reason, I will say Outsiders do not have a bad Mirage at all, but when they pick it, it's always bad. Whenever they pick it and they're confident in it, it's always bad. And when another team tries to like pick it to like punish them, they always look good on it. So it's when they're not trying on Mirage, that's when they look good, I think.
Mm,
That's what I've always seen about them. Every time they pick Mirage a couple times and they fucking look bad, they lose to teams they shouldn't be losing to, that kind of thing. And then they'll just kind of float it because obviously they're still comfortable in it. Then higher tier teams will try to punish pick it against them because they've looked so bad, and they always show form. So the fact that MIBR's ban is Mirage, it's kind of like a good thing for them, I think.
yeah.
I think for sure.
All right,
So
guys. Prediction time.
I
Like,
all things considered, even with previous performances recently and all that stuff, I have to go Outsiders. I still think they're a favorite to take the game. Um, I'm going
I
Outsiders.
don't know who I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards Outsiders, but I do think this is gonna be the upset. One of
M
the
I
upsets today, or that
m-
whenever the
I
first day.
when Pickems come around, I literally watch like all 100 videos that get uploaded for people doing Pickems. Usually there's always like 5 or 6 teams that everybody puts, and then there's
Mhm.
like 1 or 2 dark horse teams that people put for pick'ems. MIBR is one of the ones that most people are putting as like that dark horse candidate, and people
Yeah,
are also
it
not
is. Yeah.
putting outsiders out. Like a good amount of people are not even putting outsiders out.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say that. Overall, in recent times, MIBR have definitely looked like the better team. I'm just putting so much faith into the fact that outsiders are by far the better team and should show that today or that day, I think.
Feel like Outsiders might have the G2 effect from last major. How coming into it, a lot of people didn't put G2 out because of their
Mhm.
pro league
Yeah.
performance. How they went 0-5, and they will just surprise and go out 3-0.
The thing is, they always get there. They always
Yes,
do
they
it.
do.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's
They are the most hideous team to watch, but goddamn is it fun. They
yeah,
they
they could
always
go.
do it.
They'll
They
be down
always do it.
fucking 14-5, man,
And
and
you'll be
hey,
like, "Oh, why are they
they
still trying?" That kind
they
of thing. And
going
then you
30
look and
rounds
it's
still.
14-12. You're
Hmm.
like, "What the fuck?" Yeah.
No matter what, you can expect 30
You'll
rounds
get
out
your
of an
money's worth
Outsiders
watching
team.
an Outsiders game, yeah.
All right, Tyler. So you chose MIBR then?
I'm gonna go Outsiders.
All right. I am so torn between this matchup. I want to take MIBR just because none of you did, but it kind of has to
Fair.
be outsiders for me.
That's crazy. I was not expecting that. I was
Yeah.
not expecting you to come with me, Alec.
Yeah, I actually think they're gonna perform this major and do really well.
The game kicker. You starting to you
Hmm.
believe it too now, huh?
I really do believe in kicker. Buster,
You still don't like Buster
I
though.
still need him to do something. I've always loved Buster. He fell off for me once this team
Yeah.
happened, or once this happened.
I remember when we used
Because
to
of his
when we
Deagle plays,
yeah,
dude.
when we watched the
Yes.
the major that Cloud9 won together,
Yeah.
we were all like watching, we're like, this Buster guy's kind of good, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
think that wasn't that his
Yeah,
first fucking major too. Yeah,
that
I
was when
remember just
that was
watching
their
a
first
random
major.
Vanguard game. I'm like, this dude's kind of cracked with the Deagle.
Yeah, he was on Train, Mirage, just fucking one
Hmm.
D and everybody.
All right, guys, let's pull up the pick'ems. I'll go ahead and if you guys want to share me your screens in Discord, I'll
All right,
show
Tyler,
them
go
as
first.
well.
Oh,
Or I'll show him. I'll show
I'll go
mine, and
last.
then
Let me
I'll
go
show
last.
mine,
Let
and then
me
I'll
go
go
last.
ahead.
I'm making my sandwich.
All right. So I have Outsiders 3-0, 9-0-3. Only reason I have 9-0-3 is because they
The
have to play
seeding,
the
yeah,
hardest people
yeah,
every single time.
yeah.
hmm.
That's rough for them.
Saying that, if they end up beating Ence somehow and then playing fours, I can see them making it out.
Yeah,
Uh,
but Pick'ems is different than like we were
ex-
saying before.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have Liquid, Imperial, Ence, Vitality, G2, Astralis, and Cole as my 7 teams that will advance. I do not have MIBR, Fours, Bad News Eagles,
Yeah, those are
um,
the kind of teams that
Spirit,
some people have.
IHC,
Those kind of teams.
Renegades, and Eternal Fire. I don't have in there. I'm really tempted to put fours in for Imperial just because of seeding,
Yeah,
or
that's a
for
good point.
Cole. I think Cole have a really good chance to shit the bed and go
That's your
0-3 as
hopium
well.
pick. Yeah, that's your hopium pick.
All
That's a
right.
team that you want to see. Everybody has a team that they want to see make it out. That's yours.
Yes.
Tyler's is BNE and mine's Eternal Fire.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Dude, I
Let's
don't
show up
want to put
Tyler's
Forze
screen.
out,
Mhm.
but just
All right,
you're right
Tyler.
about the seeding. I feel like they're just gonna get a free fucking 3-1 or 3-2
Go ahead,
because
run
of
it down
seeding.
for us.
Well, of course, mine 3-0 is gonna be BNE.
Mhm.
That's my dark horse. I have to go with those guys. I don't think they make it out 100%, so that's why I put them there.
Like I said,
9Z,
to me, if they make it out, they're making it out like 3-0 or something like that.
yeah,
Because they
9Z,
have to win the 2 best of ones to make it out for me.
9Z 0-3 for me just because seeding. I still like them. I think they could win a game, but
Yeah.
they just got put in the worst seed, and the top seeds, I don't really see them beating them, especially in best of ones. I think the 5 safest picks, I think that everybody has, is the G2, Astralis, Vitality, and Liquid.
Yep.
And the last 2, I just went Outsiders because I think they're just gonna perform. I actually do think they're gonna perform this major, even how they look. And Imperial, it was torn between the Imperial and MIBR for me. I'm still
The Brazilians.
yeah, it's one of those Brazilian teams that's gonna make it out.
Let me load
And
up.
I think I just have to lean towards Imperial just because I like the team more, and I've seen more Imperial than MIBR. So that's why they were my last pick. But BNE is going 3-0.
Cool, cool.
Easy.
All right, Mateo, you
Alright.
ready?
Yeah, let me share my screen.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So, pretty basic stuff here. We've got the 5 teams that everybody's looking for. You got your G2s, your Ences, your Liquids, your Vitalities. I actually don't have Astralis making it out. I will say, I change my pick'ems about once every hour.
Yep.
Like, I'll literally load up the game. So, this is not set in final for me, but I will load
For
up the
any of
game
us,
and
really, but
change.
yeah.
Yeah. But this is where we all are right now. 3-0 team doesn't really matter. Honestly, maybe if I really wanted to try, I could put Astralis there instead. I think that's not a bad play, actually. Maybe I will do that. But I kind of do want to put Cole, just obviously to believe in them, that kind of thing. But honestly, I'll probably stick with this. This pick may have some people questioning it, but it's just kind of like a feeling in my balls for some reason. Unfortunately,
That's fair.
I love the team, but I think they may have some troubles here, for sure. I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that they'll go at least like 0-2. For some reason. I love the team and I really hope they do good. And like I said, the fucking game against Outsiders is probably the best match to bet on tomorrow. But like overall, for some reason, I just have a bad feeling in my head because to me, IHC, 9Z even, I think as sad as it sounds, this might be one of the better 0-3 picks as well. But I'm not gonna do that because I'm a fucking
I also,
Renegades fan till I die.
I'm scared of that because it's a 50-50 game, though.
I feel like Renegades always gets at least one win.
No, they 0-3 last major.
Do they?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the thing. I always feel like they do get at least one win, but then they do 0-3 sometimes.
IHC have looked way better than Renegades. So if you were gonna put IHC, you should put Renegades instead. I'll just say
No,
that.
I
I
see. I
genuinely
think
think
win at least one. They should
like
with how they
if
look.
people are putting IHC just because they don't know who they are, in recent time I think IHC have looked better. And even in like the head to head and stuff like that, if it gets down to that for the O2s, then I think IHC will probably win a game. So
Yep.
to me, the potential teams for 0-3 are obviously 9Z, Renegades, IHC potentially, Spirit for sure.
Mhm.
That's one that I had this
That
year before
higher seed
MIBR.
team, yeah, no, that is a higher seed team that I feel like could go 0-3.
So for me, it's between these two. These are definitely the 2 teams that I'm gonna pick. I just don't know who I'm gonna pick yet. But yeah, I think I'll go with that for right now. Eternal Fire is my team that I really like watching. I really think that they're a good team that haven't shown everything that they can yet. Imperial is definitely a pick that a lot of people have in that I think they shouldn't.
Yeah,
But I think
I think
everybody
so
just
too.
loves them so much,
Oh
right?
yeah, that is
So
literally why everybody's picking them.
yeah, I think that this team is definitely not one of the teams that should be up here.
That might be a
Like
good
for
3-0
everybody,
pick.
you know what I mean? Like one of the teams that shouldn't have everybody shouldn't be up here with them. Like they
Yeah.
should not be on everybody's pick'ems with the G2s, Ences, and that kind of stuff. But I think everybody just fucking loves them so much, so it's hard to not put them there.
It's hard to not love The Last Dance.
Yeah, so that's what mine is right now. I could very well see me moving Astralis somewhere down here because I think that's a safer pick for that a lot of people are going with. But I could see them not making it out though, so that's kind of why I have them at the 3-0.
Yep.
G2, Ence, Liquid.
Like
I
Tyler
definitely
says, all
think
lock-ins.
these are lock-ins for sure.
Mhm.
If one of these
Yes.
teams doesn't make it out, then like everybody's coin is fucked. I think pretty much. But Vitality is definitely a team that's a question mark here. Outsiders definitely a team that's a question mark here. This is really this is what you got, honestly.
Yeah,
Astralis are down bot.
I think for 99% of people, Astralis are down there, but I don't know. I don't know.
the top 3 are for sure G2, Ents, and Liquid. I think are the top 3
The
favorites.
only thing that is scary is obviously Liquid have 15th seed for some reason.
Yes, that
So
is.
that is because you have both of these teams here as lock-ins, and one of them has to start 0-1. That's the only thing that's kind of scary. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah. All right,
So,
guys. So let's.
but what I had before was here I can pull it up again. I think. Nope, I can't. Whatever I had before was what I'm with though for sure.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys. We'll go ahead and call our final who we think is gonna win the major. Just
Damn,
yeah,
just a gut shot right
gut
away.
shot, man.
24 teams still.
Yeah,
There is.
I mean,
So all
I
these
have to lean
guys.
towards G2,
Yeah.
but I do think the favorites is FaZe. FaZe or Cloud9.
Alex actually probably picking FaZe, isn't he?
You have no idea who I'm picking.
He's picking
Actually,
Fall
you
Mace.
do, Mateo. Once
He's,
I
he's,
say.
he's picking Fall Mace.
Oh no, he's
So
picking
my
Fall Mace.
favorite to win it is actually not Falmies. I want them to win it. That's who I want to win. But it's actually Furia.
Oh yeah.
Furia have
Dude,
been
why
looking
did I
good.
completely forget Furia was in this tournament?
Oh yeah, Furia. A lot of these teams, the Legend teams, all have a good
Yeah.
chance except Hurek.
They look
Yeah,
like they
fuck those
found
guys.
Hurek.
it. They look so
They have
good right now,
Safe
and I'm
is
so excited to
yeah.
watch them
I
because
can't wait to watch them
I've been
get it, yeah.
such a huge Furia fan for a long time, and I love them so much.
You've been a fan of every team, but yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
but not heroic. Fuck you.
Oh, true.
All right.
Well,
Who else? Who's your favorite, Tyler? Did you say
G2.
G2,
G2 and then
but
Mateo?
I think
Um
Or you
who I
think
hope
who?
wins?
Oh, I'm
Who I
sorry,
hope
Tyler.
wins,
I didn't mean to
obviously
cut you off.
Outsiders.
Yeah.
I think that it's probably FaZe or C9 for me though.
Phaser C9.
Yeah.
Cool.
those would be my 2.
Phaser
FaZe C9
C9.
final again.
Really? So no
Yeah,
Navi
imagine.
for any of us.
Nope.
Navi haven't impressed me the last couple ones.
Yeah,
They
neither.
never do though. We'll say that about them.
They won their
They never
major.
do
They're
impress,
they're
but
they're happy. All right, that's gonna be it for us, guys. That'll be the PGL Antwerp Challenger stage, right? Or is that
You're
Yep.
right.
contender
It's
stage?
not on
contender.
there anymore, so he can't read
Yeah,
it.
he
Yeah, I
can't read
can't. I'm
He's
sorry.
struggling.
There
He's
it is. There it
struggling.
is. I was right the first time.
Yeah.
Um,
Challengers.
we'll go ahead and try to do another video for
It would
the
have to be Friday night.
Friday night. Okay,
The second group starts Saturday morning,
cool. All
and
right.
it ends Friday night. So
And we'll try to do one then. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next
bye
one.
bye.
Later.